Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. And we are having a short live stream simultaneously on YouTube channel of mine. Mind@sixtruth.com is the general name for all the social media stuff that I have. But the YouTube channel is called The One Point, TheOnePoint. And we're also running a live on TikTok for our TikTok friends. We are in habit of thinking that TikTok friends are always quiet. They have no questions. But we hope tonight we'll break the record and we'll have questions from TikTok friends as well. YouTube takes a little longer for them to realize that we are on, as YouTube somehow doesn't circulate and invite the live streams as well as it does other channels. But TikTok is very efficient in that, and suddenly we have 300 people showing up at least to check us out. So tonight, as usual, we talk about thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego. We talk about breakups and what to do after, your mindset, and things that will help you to move on to bigger and better things and not get stuck, not lose your opportunities for your exams, studies, schooling, or for your jobs, projects, and whatever else is that you're used to in running your life and livelihood. So you won't be stuck in the past and you'd be able to move forward and find your happiness and balance again. We also talk about the topics of OCD and OCD subsets, intrusive thoughts, and HOCD in specific, which we have over 3,000 videos for the topic of breakup and OCD combined on YouTube channel that you can enjoy and find your answers there. As you know, we have just launched our first app in regards to breakup, which is a very interesting and useful app. You go on the app and you can see many chapters. Every chapter is open for you to check it out without having to pay. And you will read the questions, and each chapter has 20 questions. And when you read these questions, you say, oh, this one pertains to me, so I'll choose this chapter. Or you might find more of the questions relating to you in the next chapter. So you will read those questions and say, oh, that's more like the situation I'm dealing with. So either way, you'll check all the chapters and you choose one chapter. Then you pay for it. And then based on the questions, you answer the questions yes or no. Very simple. And based on all the yeses that the system receives from you, meaning you want to know about this particular topic or question or whatever the case may be. And then you will have books which are in recordings, not books, but they have a look like a book. But the recordings that I've spoken about that topic of question will be presented to you, and you can use it and have access to it anytime you want, I think for at least a year. And that's how this app works 24/7 from anywhere in the world. If you wanted more, you can always go to my site, mind@sixtruth.com. Make an appointment. That's more expensive. That would be live, interactive discussions on Teams, Zoom, the old Skype. Excuse me. And we'll discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on that venue. The second app is being prepared, and it'll also be uploaded on Google. Once they both are uploaded on Google, we will have them on Apple as well. And the second app is about OCD, OCD subsets, intrusive thoughts, and HOCD. Has the same way of working, same system, and it will be very convenient for lots of people and much more economical rather than spending 90 minutes for $150. I think the apps for breakup is like $85 for, let's say, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours of discussion on different questions that you might have, depending on how long the videos are. So I'm very excited about that. This launched last night, I think. And so it should be up and running right now. The name of the app for the breakup is the Ultimate Breakup Guide. The Ultimate Breakup guide. You can go on Apple Play, Google Play or Google Console or something of that. So that's the name. The name of it is, and you can put in ultimate breakup guide or breakup guide, and you will see it. It has a heart and a man and a woman in the heart that represents, the icon, and then you can find it that way. And also the name is written beside. So, having said that, let's see if we have any questions from our TikTok friends. And of course, we look for comments on YouTube friends as well. All right, let's see on TikTok. Wow, lots of people here came, and I don't know if they're still there or gone, but I have, okay, Debbie's here, L4 joined, Nunush, Chris Erds, Joe, food for whatever. And it's funny that the actual TikTok is also inviting one of my other channels. My own channel is inviting me. I'm here. And Darren and the rest of them. But there is no questions here. Remember, this is not a lecture, so if there's no question, then I'll just go and make some tea and watch a movie. So if you have any questions on topic of breakups or OCD subsets, intrusive thoughts, repetitive thoughts, negative thoughts, or HOCD, you can always shoot the question here, and I'll be more than happy to tackle it for you. There's something called AI summary here. It just repeats what I'm saying. What does that mean? It says breakups and OCD talk, ask about HOCD or moving on. Oh, it's advertising for me. I don't know how it works, but it's interesting. No question here. Let me look at the YouTube, see if we have any questions there. Muhammad, he is here. Says, hello, Mehran. And Muhammad is 19 from India. That would be great if you guys let me know your age and your gender and where you're tuning in from. Like Muhammad here says, male 19, India. I appreciate that. That helps me to know a little bit about you, who I'm talking to, and how far you are, how far we're reaching. And so it helps me to tailor my responses and address you appropriately. All right, again, we're waiting for questions. Until then, I guess I can go make some tea, no? Hello, Raymond. Prince is here. Everybody is quiet as usual on TikTok. They just joined. Muhammad says, can you please elaborate on the association that the brain does when in the glitch of OCD? Association with what? You need to give me a little bit more. It says, for example, how the brain associates something in a nanosecond. Well, it's just the capability of brain. If I understand you right, brain is not like a device to go through and search for something. It's like a field that everything is open and the brain is looking at it from top. So bang, it finds what it wants in a nanoseconds. I mean, I don't know exactly what you want me to say, but in regards to OCD, you probably watch one of my videos that I'm talking about. When the brain goes to find something, it also passes through lots of other things and notices them, and it attaches that, brings all of it out to your attention, whether they're relevant or not. So perhaps that is what you're following up. You see, brain doesn't know what is good or what is bad. Brain doesn't know what is right, what is wrong in your vocabulary or in your lifestyle or in your thinking or preferences. Brain only gives you what you do more of. For example, if you think about, let's say, soccer all the time, brain gives you lots of soccer memories and soccer um, examples or things to do with that, what you do a lot. That's the way that we all become good or not so good at something. When they say practice makes perfect, they really, what it means is that when you keep doing something like playing piano, synaptic neurons create bridges for the two neurons to connect. So the neurotransmitters, the information on what you're doing and how you're doing it, passes through and you become very good at it. The more you do it, the more bridges between different synaptic neurons are created for you to facilitate it, for you to become very good at that, whether it's playing tennis or playing piano. So brain is not involved in deciding for you what is good, what is bad, or doesn't know what you think is good or bad. Brain keeps giving you the product that you've been making all the time. You played piano a lot, it makes you be very good at playing piano. You think about a certain topic, it keeps bringing that kind of a discussion or thoughts into your mind because it doesn't know what is apropos for you or not. So that's why when you get into OCD and gives you certain kind of a negative thoughts or repetitive thoughts or abusive thoughts or intrusive thoughts, the more you spend time on it, the more the brain thinks that's what you want the brain to produce. That's why it's very important to understand the relationship between obsession, compulsion, which is the in the center of goal finding center in the striatum midbrain basal ganglia. There is a place called the striatum. Among many things, there's three centers there. One is goal finding center, which is really can be interpreted to when you have an obsession, for example, washing your hand. You think your hands are dirty. That's your obsession. And they're not, but you think it's dirty, as that's your OCD. So your goal finding would be to wash it. That's your goal, which is the compulsion. And the compulsion is in one circle, which is called goal finding center. When you wash your hands, the second circle in the striatum is also being stimulated, which is the reward center, which is where the dopamine is secreted. Because when you wash your hands, obsession, my hands are dirty, compulsion, wash my hands, and then comfort. I feel clean now. That is a signal for dopamine having been secreted, so you feel good. That's the reward you receive for that compulsion. Makes you feel good. But at the same time, dopamine is addictive. So when you do it 300 times, no longer you're only doing the compulsion, wash your hands, because of the obsession, because you think it's dirty. You're doing it to get the dopamine because you're not addicted to that feeling of, feels good. Hmm? At the same time, every time that you wash your hand, the compulsion, it was stimulating the reward center. It was also stimulating another center in the striatum, which you didn't know is habit center. So after 1,000 times of doing this and keep getting the dopamine, you no longer are doing the compulsion, washing hands for the obsession, my hands are dirty, and no longer are just doing it to get the dopamine because you're addicted. You're doing it because it's your habit. And you don't even know why you're doing it. You're just doing it because of your habit. Uh, Professor Schwartz did a study, and actually, I think it was Anne Grable from MIT who pioneered the uh, experience and study of the cluster of movements to the brain is one movement. For example, Dr. Schwartz explains that if you see a man going into a cigarette store and ask for a cigarette, getting a cigarette, paying for it, opening the package, tearing up the cellophane, pulling one cigarette, flipping the lighter 2 inches from his face, and comes out, and you ask him, sir, are you aware that this is what you did? You went in there, paid for it, asked for it, tore up the cellophane and got one cigarette and put fire to it. There's many number of things that the brain has done, many activities. The person says, no, I just know I'm smoking. Because to the brain, all those movements is just one move, smoking. That's when the habit has taken the charge, and you don't notice what you're doing. You're just doing it automatically without noticing it. This happens in OCD, and suddenly you're doing things without even thinking that you're doing it out of habit. This is why it's important to learn how to rewire your brain before this gets to habit center, because then it becomes a little bit more difficult to get rid of it. So I don't know if that explains and answers your question or not, but let's see. It says, for example, the feeling, etc., when they come up in an unwanted situation. Okay, that's exactly then what I said. The more you think about this feeling, that it makes me fearful, or I'm angry, or I'm upset about this feeling, or whatever the feeling is, anxiety, arousal, whatever it is, the more you think about it, entertain it, exchange energy, and spend time on it, the more you're training the brain to keep feeding you of this same caliber of thinking, feeling, whatever it is, symptoms. That's why you want to go through 4 steps of Dr. Schwartz and do the relabel, and then reframe it, then you refocus, and the step of the brain automatically revalues. And once you do this many times, then all the 3-4 steps happen in your brain without you really thinking about it. But as soon as you see a sign of the OCD thinking, the brain automatically does it. That's how you rewire the brain. You come out of the OCD eventually. So perhaps that is due to pornography, brain trying to associate anything to it and sending false signals. So that's exactly what I said. It affects all types of OCD, and that's how you can remedy it, by having the same formula used for it. And of course, there's a lot more elaboration on the topics on the videos that I have on YouTube. There's about 1,000 videos on OCD and OCD subsets, including specifically HOCD. And there's over 2,000 videos on breakups and emotional hardships, and the thoughts, consciousness, fear, ego, and videos on those topics. So we have over 3,000 videos on YouTube, which I'm sure you can find what you're looking for. Mohammed says, thank you for the answers. You're quite welcome, dear. I appreciate that. And so, again, TikTok, no questions. We only have observers here. What are these things? Flash goal? What is a flash goal? I just looking for questions. I don't know what this whole thing is. Muhammad says, when the caudate nucleus is malfunctioning, why does the lever not work only for the OCD thoughts? Is it because of habit? No, because you have certain field in OCD. What else is there? You have OCD on that particular thought pattern, the OCD becomes active. And if it's a HOCD, well, it's a topic of HOCD that the lever is not working. You know, you're like a car. Just because the tire is not working, that doesn't mean the engine shouldn't be working. The problem is the tire, so you're going to change the tire. or if it's engine, then it's engine. So in this case, the caudate nucleus is responsible for moving you away from all these intrusive thoughts. And when it's not working, you got to help it to repair it. That's all you should be focusing on. Why it doesn't work, who cares? Focus on repairing it. Henry, you started from the middle of your story. I don't understand. Oh, because of the topic is the most important part of the relationship communication. Okay, I see. I see now. You say yes, communication when you have them. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So are you telling me the reason that your girlfriend broke up with you, that you speak so highly of her? You say, I lost the most gorgeous girl after 8 years. I can't believe someone so gorgeous wanted to marry and have children with me. I'm one of those people who suffer the most after breakups. It's really too much pain, stabbing pain all day long. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. You have put yourself in a frame that I must have had or must have married this girl. Now that it doesn't work, well, it would have been good if it did work, but it didn't. So if it didn't, that means it wasn't really right, because if it was right, it wouldn't be breaking up. Now that it has, you got to focus the fact that there's so many other options. I can't make a goddess out of something that doesn't want to be with me, because the only goddess that I would consider is the one who wants me. One of the criteria for someone to be called your goddess or your wife or your chosen one is that she also wants to be with you. Why would you want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with you? Why? What's the logic? You want to be slave? You want to beg for affection? That's not balance. So for whatever reason you did or she did that you guys are not together, okay, you tried, it didn't work out. One of you wanted to break up, or both of you, and you tried again, it didn't work out, and she left. Okay, I know it's painful, but the reality of life is that time in this short journey of life is not going to wait for you to sob or cry for another human being who didn't choose you. Big fucking deal. Go find another, because there are so many other amazing girls. And one of the most amazing things about them is that the one that wants to be with you. I don't care how beautiful the ones who don't want me are. I only care about the one that wants to be with me. And that's what you should focus. The most important thing that disqualifies this woman to be with you is that she left, or she didn't try hard enough, or for whatever reason it didn't work. After 8 years, she's not with you. Therefore, she's no longer qualified. So you go on now. Don't waste your time in life sobbing that I should have been married to the why. Why? What is she going to bring? Is she feeding all the hungry children or the elderly? She's protecting. She finds the common, what is it? The medicine for common cold. She cures the common cold. What does she do that she's all that? Is your desire. So in fact, you're in love with your desire, and your desire for pleasure, what she was facilitating that. Change your desire something else, she would not be as worthy as you think she is. 8 years was great. Thank you very much. But if she's not with me anymore, the worth and value is just a memory. But I want to live in the present moment. So I got to find someone who's not a memory, wants to make more memories with me and stay and protect those memories. The moment that that person also leaves, that person should be forgotten. For your health and benefit of survival, go and find another combination of what you like: mentality, physically, bonding on consciousness level. You can't be affording sitting around It's like, you say the government of some country has become something that is totally outrageous and is not sitting well with your values, but you're going to sit around for another 50 years until the government changes. Well, no, go somewhere else where the country has advanced and they don't have these values that are not in line with your values. Same thing. Can't punish yourself because somebody doesn't want you. Why should you punish yourself? Go make a better life, find a better person. Muhammad says, speaking of habit, the sense of identity also has a habit involved in it. What is your advice on breaking negative self identity and increasing confidence? Well, you can't just build confidence based on making it look like you're somebody or talking yourself into having confidence. Everybody should have certain amount of confidence. But if you want more, then you got to bring reality to it by doing the work that it takes to have more confidence, meaning bringing the values that makes you without shadow of the doubt realize that you have conquered many challenges. You've done your best. Whether you were successful or not doesn't matter. The quality of effort you put in it, it matters. You studied well, you worked, you experienced, you produced. The things that were not good, you stayed away. The things that were good, you flourished in it and promoted it in yourself. You brought good habits to yourself, positive thinking, making efforts, being goal oriented, producing comfort for yourself and for your loved ones. And these are the qualities that you can physically and tangibly see its results, which tells you you have accomplished these things. Therefore, for having accomplished these things, you can gain confidence because you have shown that you are productive, you're efficient, you're making efforts, and you're successful in bringing things that you wanted to accomplish. You have accomplished things. So you can't be just sitting around and says, I'm confident, I'm somebody. That's pretending. Study well. Put your time when you want to study and focus. So learn how to focus. Learn how to be nice to people. Learn how to be responsible. Stay away from negative stuff and find good people around you and make good decisions as best as you can. All of that, when you look back, you say, well, I did my best. I chose the right paths and I advanced. So I treated myself well. I didn't goof off. A little bit is okay, but not too much. And I've accomplished things. And those things, you can see them because you can see your efforts in there, and that brings you the confidence. So it's not about habit of not thinking good of yourself, because if you keep thinking good of yourself, that doesn't give you confidence, just makes you think you have, but in reality, you wouldn't know what to do. But by practicing and acting on the good stuff that you have learned, then you can automatically get the confidence you're looking for. Mhm. Mohammed says, how's Aikido training going? Wanted to ask, is it similar to Judo? Does it include slams and throws? Well, I taught Aikido for 35 years, but I'm not teaching anymore. But I do my meditation at home. Aikido, somewhat in some techniques, may look like Judo, but it's not. for many reasons. First of all, it's not that grappling that judo does. We don't have that sort of things. Aikido techniques are connection, and then certain techniques are applied and then let go. It's not like you grapple on the floor and grab somebody and then eventually um, have a certain technique that they will, you know, disarm or tap or whatever. It's not that involved for too long. It's very quick. Mostly you rely on leading the opponent's mind, which means you align the movement and direction of the opponent's mind, which opponent's key, energy flowing. You align yourself with that flow. So, in other words, if the opponent's coming to you this way and you're coming this way, you align yourself with the opponent and throw him using his own force and your force in the same direction, which is much easier than judo. Judo is trying to overwhelm and overtake the power of the other person. The resistance is how they try to break it and then win over the resistance of the other one. In Aikido, we try not to have a resistance and find a way where we can align the movement of energy with the movement of the energy of the opponent, and then through that direction, it would be much easier to apply the technique. Plus the fact that there's lots of components of meditation and energy of mind involved. It's not just physical techniques. Before we apply the technique, there is the mind movements and the energy of mind already pierced through. Then the body follows and applies. So in other words, you lead the mind of the opponent first, and then you apply the technique in the same direction that the opponent was attacking you, which makes it much easier. But there's a component of meditation and physical training that is involved in Aikido. So there's a big difference. Judo is all physical, as far as I understand. There's really no mental power involved. It's just techniques and physical, and it works perfectly well. It's amazing. Don't knock it. But Aikido is just on different level. You know, and Mazakiral is here. Wow, it's been a long time. Cecilia Miran, long time. How are you? Yes, it's been a long time. And Mohammed says, can you explain how to meditate? If you go on my channel, which you are, just put the word meditate in the search engine of my channel, not YouTube channel, my channel on YouTube. And there would be, I don't know, many meditation that I did live with people on live stream, or just discussions on how to meditate, short or long, different kinds, breathing exercise or concentration meditation, concentration expansion meditation, and breathing meditation, breathing exercise, and short exercises, and also breathing for anxiety, very quick one. You can do many times, different parts of the wherever you are in during your daytime. It doesn't, you don't have to sit down somewhere and be quiet and close your eyes and all that. It's just something that you're anxious, you're at the exam site, or you want to go on a date, or you're anxious. You can do that very quickly, and you calm yourself down and you approach what you want to accomplish. So go on my channel and just put meditate or meditation, one word, and you'll see what comes in, and you choose. Some of them are long, some of them are 2-3 minutes, 1 minute, some 30 minutes, 25 minutes, I don't know, 28 minutes, and elaborate discussions on that. And it says, someone told me meditation is when you lose attention and bring your attention back to focus. No, it's not true. Yeah, in fact, that is what happens. But you don't sit and meditate and lose attention, bring it back to you. No, it may happen to you at the beginning because meditation is the way you train your mind to be disciplined. And if it's not disciplined, you keep losing your focus, and you have to keep bringing it back. But that's not the purpose of meditation. The purpose is to get your mind to a place where when you focus on what you're focusing for meditation, you stay there. And at the beginning, of course, you're not focused. You lose it and bring back. But that is a very simplified way of saying, which is not the the goal is to learn focusing, concentration. Because, concentration is power. And to show it to you, what I mean is that, however, what I'm going to tell you is a key that many people don't realize in meditation and the power of concentration. So listen carefully. The power is not in concentration. Although you got to concentrate to get to that level of meditation and power, but the power is not in the concentration. The power is in the duration that you can keep the concentration. That's very important, because everybody in Tom, Dick, and Harry and their horses can concentrate. But if it's for a second or two, that doesn't have power. I'm going to show it how. Grab a piece of paper and a magnifying glass. If you use this magnifying glass on a winter day, afternoon of a winter day, when the sun is not really strong, but you keep the magnifying glass between the sun ray, as weak as it is, and the paper, and make it focus, concentrate that ray, nothing happens. But if you keep it there for about a few seconds or more, depending on the ray power, the paper catches fire. So the power was not in concentration, because you did concentrate and bring the ray to a very small point, but nothing happened until you kept it there for a while, depending on how powerful the concentration is. Because the same thing, if you do with a projector lens and put it in the hot summer day sunshine, it won't catch fire because there's no concentration to it. It's just dissipating, it's just projecting the rays. So the power is in concentration, and then it is in the duration, how long you can keep the concentration. That's the most important. That's why when you meditate, it is trying to teach you not to break it and go back after it, break it and go back after it, and that's meditation. No, it's trying to teach you so you can stay concentrated for an hour or half an hour or whatever, because that's where the power is. All right. Fresh. First of all, guys, do me a favor, as I asked you kindly, let me know your gender, because I can't see the pictures and I can't tell from the names. It could be from different countries, and some of them are short, like this one is Fresh. I don't know if it's short for a Persian name, Fereshteh, or is it short for some male name? I don't know. So help me out. Gender, age, and where you're tuning in from, which country, which city. That will help me a little bit. Says, I know I'm straight. I've always been straight. I've always wanted a relationship with woman. I just want to love my girlfriend again and be with her. Okay, fair enough. You can. And that is probably, I guess you're talking about having a HOCD, which is sexual orientation OCD. And that simply means you're having intrusive thoughts, HOCD, which you need to either find my videos on the channel on this regard and go through them and help yourself to learn how to rewire your brain and the exercises, or you can go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, mindthatseekstruth.com. Make an appointment. My shortest appointment that is meaningful is 1.5 hours, 90 minutes. The other one is just half an hour, but that's not enough for anything. It's just for one question that someone would have. But if he wants to continue, then we won't have enough time. You either can go on my site, make an appointment, we'll discuss one-on-one, you'll explain to me, and I will go through the steps that you got to take. Or you can go on the app, which should be up and running in a month. because the breakup app is already approved and it's live. The OCD and HOCD app is what we're working on. And after it goes through its test, which many people should test it before it comes to the market, and all the other things we got to do, it might take a month. And then, as I explained how the app works, it'll be cheaper for you, but at the same time, you got to find different chapters that most pertain your situation, and you find those and you buy that chapter, just 20 questions, and you answer those questions, and then the system will provide you with 20 recordings regarding those questions that you wanted to know more about, and then you can help yourself. And if that was enough, then you got to go through the next chapter and buy the next chapter. If you come to have an appointment with me, then we can exactly find out what it is that is the issue, and we deal with it that way. Then you can continue until you learn exactly what to do, or then learn how to use the videos on the channel. Fresh says, I'm male and I'm from Armenia. Thank you very much. But you didn't tell me your age, though. Says Henry says, I boxed for 7 years, loved it, but no time to FO, no time to FO it now. I don't know if you mean fuck it. I don't know. FO. No time to it now. Oh, to do it, maybe. Maybe it's a D. No time to do it now. The nearest gym shuts too early. Okay, so let's say and let's see, Henry. So what's the point, Henry? Henry says, male from Glasgow, Scotland. Oh my goodness, wonderful. And Fresh from Armenia. That's a long way as well. You guys don't forget your ages. I need your ages. Fresh says, I'm 19. Male from USA. Thank you very much. Henry says, meant to be do, my yeah, I know. Meant to be do. My fingers too big for the buttons. Yeah, I got it. But I figured it out. And Mohammed says, what's your opinion on these doctors who say OCD is chronic and you just have to manage it? We got to manage anything in life. But it's like saying horses are very strong, but you got to manage it. Yeah, but how do I manage it? I got to learn how to ride properly, how to sit on the horse properly, how to hold the rein properly, how to give the signals. Then I'm communicating that I can manage. And the horses are not an issue, they are a vehicle. OCD, similarly, you got to learn what it is, how it makes you follow it, how to rewire the brain. And then after a while, it will diminish or perhaps no longer is an issue. I had all kinds of OCD, almost every kind, from childhood. In childhood, I didn't understand. I thought, well, that's what it is, and I got to do it to get the dopamine or to feel good about it. So if it's wash my hands or sitting in the bus and making noise, I had to finish on a certain note. Or is it dribbling or writing on my papers and keep going over a line until there's a hole in the paper, or having things lined up on the table, or turning the lights on and off 100 times, or every other things, or intrusive thoughts and all of that, through learning how to rewire the brain and understand brain is malleable, and the relationship between synaptic neurons and conditioning of the brain to produce something. I don't want it to produce it, but I keep thinking about it. So the brain thinks, what you're thinking about it is my signal to keep making more of that. Learning about these things, then you know how to manage and rewire so it won't be bothering you anymore. And pretty much the management would be just being able to recognize that it's an OCD and then ignore it automatically after having done the 4 steps of Dr. Schwartz, which helps you to manage with when the OCD thoughts show up or behavior show up, and then use that to apply the 4 steps, and then rewire the brain through those exercises, which then OCD is no longer an issue. Or if it is, it's so small that it's negligible. And after a while, you're not really doing any of it. So those doctors who say that, they're psychologists who are not specializing in OCD. Psychologists, doctors, engineers, almost any profession, they have their specialty. Just because someone is a doctor doesn't mean he can treat liver, gallbladder, kidneys, or heart, or skin, or bone. They have a specialty. This one is specialty for this. Psychologists, the same. Not all of them understand OCD or know about HOCD, intrusive thoughts, how to rewire. But there are people like Dr. Schwartz spent all his life to study and research and work on OCD. These are, or so many specialists that are world known, that their work is specializing in OCD. They're not to be taken lightly and think any psychologist can do that. So you got to talk to a psychologist who understands that. Okay? You can't just be, when they don't understand it, they say something that make themselves look like they're at the same level of the specialists. It's as silly as a doctor who's specializing in bone and can fix bones and stuff like that, wants to say that I'm I don't know, brain surgeon or heart specialist or, internal organ specialist. There's different specialties. And if they're not, then they're not. Let's see. Okay, where am I? So, let's see if our TikTok friends have any question. I guess not. TikTok friends are very quiet, usually. No, I don't see any question here. Just one moment, please. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. For example, you can't compare a psychologist who does general psychology to experts such as Dr. Jan Weiner or Dr. Philipson in New York. They have a clinic. Dr. Philipson has a clinic that's all his employees, his staff, doctors that work under his direction. They're experts in OCD and OCD subset intrusive thoughts and HOCD. You can't compare that by going to someone who has a general knowledge of psychology as a, let's say, he's a psychologist, but not a specialist in a certain field. Henry says, I'm 46. Thank you for that. Henry says, I find it shallow how people move on to someone else so fast after long relationships. Yes, Henry, but you know, it's not about you really. The people who cannot commit or they break their words or they're looking for some new things because they find their values in the outside things. So that means their value is depending on the attention or on the things available, what they acquire, not internal furnace that brings their value and commitment, and they have goals and they have roots so you can build something on that foundation. And when somebody like that is not having that qualities, somebody in your life doesn't have those qualities, you can't build anything with them. You can build a building that looks very good and stands for 2, 3 years, but you can't say just because it stood for 2, 3 years, all the material in it were ready and built for to be there for 100 years. So just because she lasted for 8 years doesn't mean she had the quality to stay for a lifetime. Shortcomings of her personality and character and needs to feel valuable includes having an outside sources to give them that value. You want someone who can get the value through their own efforts and goals that they accomplish, not if they cannot do that and they can't receive it from you all the time, then they are looking for another source to receive something, some attention from them, and that determines their value to them. That's bullshit. Good ridden. Let them go. So, next. And Fresh says, when I was smaller, I would be scared that the moon would crash into Earth. And then I was deathly, deadly scared that the sun would explode. Now it's attacking my sexuality and my relationship, this OCD related. Yeah. See, did moon crash the Earth as you thought? You were a child, right? Now years have passed. Has it happened? No. Has the sun exploded because of your thoughts? Because you thought. If thoughts have such power to actually suggest something to you, and because they suggested, your brain thinks that suggestion must come true, then how come the sun hasn't exploded and the moon hasn't crashed into Earth? Which means these are all intrusive thoughts, bullshit, but the brain cannot tell the difference between virtuality and actuality. So if you keep feeding it that the same narrative, it might believe it. That's how advertisement works on TV. That's how governments work and shove their policies into you to vote for them. They lie. It doesn't come to be true later on. It never happens. But you believe it, and on that belief, you feel because you believe it, then you don't need any evidence. Therefore, it must be true. So you vote for it. But you voted for the sunshine to explode and the moon to hit the ground, hit the earth. You voted for it, meaning you believed it. Has it happened? Just because you believe something doesn't mean it's true. Doesn't mean the source or the fact is a fact. It's just a falsehood that the brain cannot tell the difference. Same thing here. Now it's hitting you on HOCD level. Same thing, same shit. just hoax, makes you distracted, makes you believe it because it plays on your belief, and because the caudate nucleus, the lever in the striatum in midbrain basal ganglia, is not working. You got to help to rewire it and start helping it to work, or manually rewire your brain through the exercise that I mentioned. And so, oh my goodness, we have someone who is bombarding. He says, hey, Miran, Anzi is here. Shout out, please. Okay. This is Anzi and Co. From Pakistan that actually has developed the app for me. And so if you guys, I'm giving a shout out to Anzi, if you guys have any kind of a development needs, app needs, site development, YouTube thumbnails, or SEOs, or whatever else that I don't know. There's so many things that Anzi company and their team do, which they have been very helpful and informative, very diligent, very cordial, very polite and professional. And I'm very happy with their services. So if you guys want to use them for your purposes, your growth, your company, your projects, you can talk to them and find out more about them. All right, Anzi. Look at that. You bombarded it here. Usually if we find somebody who does this so many times, we think it's a it's a spammer. But no, good thing I read it. All right. So now this is going to be on the recorded video, will be uploaded on the channel, so you can always refer back to it. So Anzi and Co. Anzi and Co. And you can see his call ladder here. And Dimitri is here. It says 31 male from Melbourne. Oh my goodness, Australia. Australia, that's about 1:30 in the afternoon plus 7 hours. 8:30 in the afternoon, isn't it? In the evening, isn't it? The next day. So it's the 14th, I believe. 14th of December, 8:30 in the 8:30 in the evening. You're welcome, Ansi. Nancy, if you have sent me a message, I haven't looked at it because I've been live, as I mentioned to you before I went on. So I'll look at it if there's anything afterwards. And who else is here? Dimitri says, yes, it is. Oh, yeah. Because I have many clients from Australia, actually. So I'm often calculating the time difference so we can have our sessions going. And Henry says, I feel no one can match her. Naturally, that's the most recent girlfriend or relationship, meaningful relationship that you had. You cannot think anyone is better than her because you're comparing 8 years of experience and knowing and exchanging energy and exchanging discussion, communication with someone, with the ones that you have no knowledge of. You don't even know them yet. So how can you think there's anyone better than them? Give them also 8 years time, at least 5 years time, or 2 years time, then you will come to be able to compare properly. At this time, naturally, that's how you think. But thinking that way, that doesn't mean that what you're thinking is true or fact. It is for this moment without you having met somebody else and spent similar amount of time with. So stop believing in that bullshit, okay? It's natural to think that way because the sexual experiences, interactions, energy exchange, all the challenges, ups and downs, those are all what brings respect and belief and trust. But now that it's broken, you cannot look at her with the image that you have of her from 8 years ago until whenever you guys broke up, and then still try to move on. You got to see her as she is today. Today, she's not that person anymore, but you're still looking at her as if it is the same person you met then. If she was, she wouldn't be separating from you. Because she has broken up with you, she's no longer that person. She's a different person. So look at her actuality, how she treated you, what she's done. And this actuality tells you there's a lot more people better than her because they haven't left you. You don't even know them, let alone having left you. This one betrayed you, so to speak. Therefore, you cannot be looking at her as if she hasn't yet and think of her, she's the best. Well, she's not. Face the fact, then you'll be fine. Don't protect her. Don't defend her. Just give her the points that she deserves, and that's it. Not that she's the best. If she was the best is the one that is with you. If she's not with you, she's not the best. Simple as that. All right, guys, it's been 1 hour that we've been together here. I still have no questions from our friends in TikTok. Looks like they only enjoy listening or watching. My goodness, so many people here, but no questions. I wonder. Okay, then, guys, I think I answered all the questions. And if there's no more, it's 1:35. I don't mind to make some tea and have a little, just a movie or something. And then hopefully I'll have one also tomorrow night, maybe same time, 12 midnight, and same channel. So it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. In the meantime, be good to yourself, and to the others, I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.